Welcome, friends. Thank you for joining us. My name is Joel, and this is the O2 Drop. This is WA's VGC podcast, coming from Perth, home of Australia's smallest regional championships. Today I'm joined by my friends Sliff.
Hello, shout out to Chris's sister Claire.
Mark.
Hello, how's it going?
And Chris.
Yeah, I'm also here, and he stole my shout out to my sister who started playing the game, and I feel sorry for anyone who has to play her in the bottom tables with the jank that she's building. So I will say a shout out to my mate Daniel Walker in Wollongong, who got Reg F's strongest soldier for Overquill. I thought that was epic.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. We missed that one when we called it out last week.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for joining the community, Twonk Chris. Okay, so today we're going to talk about early Reg G results that we've seen. We're going to touch on OTS, thoughts about that, and of course any Pokedrama that we feel interested in. So in Perth, we had our first Reg G tournament locally as a grassroots. So no points, no anything like that. It was small attendance, but very diverse group of mons. We had all three Hoenn legendaries, Calyrex I, Terapagos, Zacian, Zamazenta, and Koraidon. Shout out to our winner, Warren, who won with the turtle with a round one bye.
That's the only way he's going to win.
That's yeah, yeah. Free win round one.
So unfortunately, nobody here actually competed in that because everyone was chasing TCG invites on the day.
Hey, speak for yourself. I was at Mayday.
You're at Mayday.
We're big celebrities now that we're podcast superstars, so our time is limited. We can't attend every event.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because we were doing TCG stuff on the weekend, why don't we just quickly touch on that and our TCG friends? What happened this weekend in TCG in Perth?
So we had a double cup weekend. I think this was our first double cup weekend, and it was also the last two cups for the season. We had 7 people chasing Worlds invites. Of those 7, 6 got their Worlds invites. So congratulations to all of them.
Good work, WA.
Special shout outs to Aaron Cole, Scott Free, and Marco Giovannini. Friends of the show, friends of ours, regular listeners. Congratulations on getting your Worlds invites. And there were 3 other nameless players.
Yeah, Marco won the first cup and came second in the second one. Like he needed some of them needed 70 CP to make Worlds and got it. It was epic.
Yeah, I think Marco and Sophia were the ones who had they both needed to get a first and a second.
Yeah.
So realistically, only one of those 2 was going to come out of the 7 that needed Worlds. Mathematically, we're only going to get 6, and we hit the 6.
I do play TCG on the side as I do it money for I collect the art and I do it as a side hobby because it's just a fun game to play. But I was there to pad the numbers to get enough numbers to get the top 8 bracket, and I ended up coming top 8 in the first cup with a jank Aerodactyl Arceus pile. But it was a lot of fun.
Yep. And shout out to all of the VGC players, 5 who attended the first cup in order to push numbers over the 21 player threshold to get the top 8 points that our local TCG players needed to get Worlds. And then another 4 went to the second cup to achieve the same thing again. And yes, congratulations, Chris, on making top 8 at a cup with a ridiculously jank rogue deck.
I love it.
And shout out to Matthew Anderson, who also made top 8 at that cup and had to team kill Chris in top 8.
That was tense. I needed to draw one of my 2 bosses' orders in had maybe 10 cards left from the deck, and I didn't draw either. It was insane.
We do love to see the camaraderie of VGC players who might not necessarily give a crap about getting results, rocking up to help our friends with the shiny cardboard get themselves over to Hawaii. Because even if we can't have many on the VGC side heading over, apart from our 2 golden children.
I mean, the discrepancy in invites in Australia it's quite drastic. I think as of this weekend, there's now 100 Australians with TCG invites.
Jeez.
I think there's 60 with VG invites and 7 with Pogo invite.
7 with Pokemon Go invites, but I mean,
There's only 7
that's
players.
way more impressive when you consider there's only 7 Pokemon Go players in Australia.
They've done well to get
I,
the CV.
I think especially in WA, Pogo's only had events for a month or two as well. So I think one of the 7 is a West Australian who's travelled for that invite. So
Yeah, I mean, look,
For sure.
we talk a lot of shit about Pokemon Go because it's ridiculous and it's not a real game, but I do have a lot of respect for the people who work hard to get their invites in the games about which they're passionate. So big respect there.
I mean, look, I love Pogo as a battling game
Okay.
because it's quick.
Yep.
Your match is like 3 minutes, but it's the most intense thing you have to do is keep track of where all of your Pokemon are at with their fast moves and where your opponent's at. You get 2 shields to protect, so it's all about bluffing and all sorts of shit. And you get one wrong, you've lost the game. But it's only 3 minutes.
So you're
That does have fun.
You're a quick 3-minute man, Joel.
I'm about efficiency.
If you want 3-minute battles, just play some of my teams at VGC.
That's what I have been doing.
But can we back to the VGC though, which is this is a VGC podcast.
Yeah, maybe we should circle back to the thing
note
we're supposed
was-
to talk about.
The note for the event yesterday was that there was no Calyrex Shadow. No Shadow.
That's only because I was busy.
There was no shadows locally yet.
Yep.
And the turtle won.
Yeah.
Yeah, turtle being Terrapagos.
Turtle being Terrapagos.
Not the previous turtle that was winning all of our events, which was
Torkoal.
Torkoal and
No.
Regulation F.
But, we should definitely spread the propaganda that there's nothing but Terrapagos in Perth. I think that'll be really good.
It's not going to be propaganda. By the time the next competition rolls around, everyone will be running it.
I think everyone will be on my ride on given indie results.
Nah, we don't pay attention to what happens in the US.
Um,
we just gravitate towards local jank and run it until Easterners come over and teach us a lesson.
Agreed.
I'm actually surprised that Terrapagos won because watching it on stream over for the Indianapolis regionals, I wasn't very impressed with the damage output. To be
But
honest,
the undefeated person,
Rajan Bal.
no,
Undefeated in Swiss
undefeated Swiss,
and runner-up of the whole event.
Navarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, Navarre. So he was 13-0 and he gave up the last match to go have lunch. So he was in
I love
spirit.
that.
He was in spirit undefeated.
Oh,
Right.
bring a snack in your pocket or something.
He ran turtle.
So long games.
And he was wearing specs on his,
No,
wasn't
it
he?
was specs. Glass Terrapagos.
Was it the sleep talk strat?
No,
like just
he wasn't
Sleep Talk and
Sleep Talk.
Terra
He
Starstone?
was Terra Star Beam thing.
Terra Star Storm.
Terra Star Beam thing.
I think he had Crunch on it as well, just to be like.
Thank you, Shadow Rider.
I did
Yeah.
see one
But
with Dark Pulse.
It gets
sorry,
Dark Pulse.
yes.
Yeah.
The special equivalent.
And Media Beam, I think.
Power Herb or Choice Spec?
That was choice specs.
Choice Specs.
Specs Meteor
Yes.
Beam, that's a shout.
Yeah.
That's very spicy.
Just to
Just
like
cause.
force a protect.
I was going to say, if you're predicting a protect, that's huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's been one really big Regulation G tournament online prior to Indianapolis, which was the VGC Trainer School Open. It had 358 teams compete. 62% of those teams contained Incineroar, in line with what we
Well, you saw the usage at Indy. It was
Yeah.
like 70% Incineroar.
70% in day 2. Yeah.
Yeah. And Fluttermane was like not even in top 6. Pelipper was. Fluttermane wasn't.
Yeah. Fluttermane 9th. She has fallen from grace.
Good.
But the results from this online tour definitely, in terms of usage, match what we were seeing online. At Indy. So Calyrex Shadow 18% usage, 51.6% win rate. Cali Ice 15.6% usage, 50% win rate. Kyogre 11% usage, 51% win rate. Terrapagos 9% usage, 55% win rate.
Oh.
Zamazenta 8% usage, 48% win rate. Koraidon 7.26% usage, 52% win rate. Groudon 6% usage, 46% win rate. And Miraidon 6% usage, 49% win rate.
I think that's about to change, that usage rate.
I think that usage is definitely going to change.
I think the episode we had Kieran on where we talked about Reg G predictions and went through all the restrictions and sort of like cooked or cooking and all that sort of stuff. I think most of what we said is still pretty accurate. I think I think I pushed it saying like Kyogre was being slept on a bit, and I think in the last few weeks it's really put on a strong performance. And I think people will still realize that everyone sort of wrote it off as being power crept, but I think Kyogre is still Kyogre, and like Terra Water Spout, like Helping Hand and shenanigans like that still.
And Serena. Everything. Oh, I think most of that might be exaggeration. I think a lot of the Kyogre teams that we saw at Indy had Serena as teammates.
You a Serena fan, Sliff? That's one of your Pokemon, isn't it?
I run it in TCG, and it is what's the opposite of good?
Not good.
My teams.
I'm a big Serena fan. One of my favorite Pokemon.
It would be if they took away Faint. It had Faint last generation, and they took it away.
Did they take it away?
They did.
Okay,
I think that's a huge difference.
Because Faint usually not a played move, but I feel like if you're running Kyogre and Wide Guard being as prevalent as it is, just considering how many of the restricteds get very potent spread moves, I think being able to run Faint to so for people who aren't aware, Wide Guard blocks your team from any spread moves that occur. Faint deals damage through moves such as Protect and Wide Guard, and notably also breaks them for your allies. So if you click Faint after they've clicked Wide Guard, you break the Wide Guard, allowing your Pokemon to deal the spread damage.
It's also a priority attack. You can even just use it to it breaks sashes.
It's +2, I believe. So it's faster than
like
quick attack. Yeah.
Faint Raichu was a thing for a long time. Fake out and Faint on teams next to Kyogre for the Lightning Rod. Faint's just a good move. Just use it to tickle something or break a sash.
Breaking sash, breaking sturdy. Yeah, breaking multi-scale.
What is the Lightning Rod interaction with Discharge?
It hits all on still.
Discharge, yeah. So spread moves, same as things like Muddy Water into a Pokemon with Storm Drain. Yeah. The Pokemon with Storm Drain or the Pokemon with Lightning Rod will not take the damage. It will receive the boost. However, it does not prevent your ally from also getting hit with that move. It only draws in single targets.
Yeah.
The other ones it will absorb, but the rest of the Pokemon that would have been targeted by the spread move are still hit by it.
Because I think a lot of the immediate Twitter memes after Indianapolis were people being like, "Oh, I'm ready for Miraidon with Pachirisu," or I think even someone had Thunderous
Therian with Volt Absorb.
Yeah, with Volt
Any
Absorb.
Toad Scroll? Follow me, Rage Powder Toad Scroll. I just want to while we're talking about Discharge memes, Rajan Bar, I watched on day one. I watched him on stream. He had 2 matches on stream on day one, I think, and then one on stream and then 2 on day 2 stream. But I watched them all when he went 9-0 in the first day, and when I heard him being interviewed after, I think he was 7-0 when he got interviewed. When he was explaining his team, when I saw his Miraidon was one hit KOing resisted Assault Vest, Rillaboom, Assault Vest, Incineroar, even it one hit KO'd and Assault Vest, Rillaboom in grassy terrain, not even an electric terrain.
With Volt Switch.
No, that was with Electro Drift, I think.
Yeah.
But and he was and also he was doing double KOs with Discharge, stuff like that. But the Terra Electric, Choice Specs, Miraidon in terrain.
It's a lot of multipliers.
Just ridiculous damage output. It was one hit KOing it killed a one hit KO to Latios, which resists it.
Yeah.
It was just I couldn't believe it. I was as soon as he explained the team and how he came about the theory of building the team and how the rest of the team interacts with it, it's this guy's gonna win. As soon as I had him interviewed, there's no way anyone's beating this team. The damage out was just ridiculous, and he was so good at positioning things on the board to be able to. So he would always go Choice Specs, Volt Switch, because he didn't want his Miraidon to take any damage, and just positioning that on the field when you had Incineroar and you had Frigoraph prevent priority, just the Follow Me Ogerpon, and just Discharge into Ursaluna, Blood Moon. That's something that Perth's going to steal for sure. We love that sort of creative meme.
Oh, absolutely. And I forget who he was team building with.
Was it Aaron Trailer? Because Trailer was on stream.
Yeah, I think it was Trailer and Navarre, the undefeated turtle. They were saying that the only losses they'd had, this was Navarre talking at the time.
Yeah.
He was saying the only losses that group of players had was against each other. They were 40-0 in round 12 against the rest of the competition.
It was insane. And also Rajan's Whimsicott, I think it was Max with a Focus Sash. It was one hit KOing Urshifus. It literally beat it 2v1. It single-handedly beat a Raging Bolt when it came down to like 1v1 at the end game, it like encored the Thunderclap and then could just keep thing like Tailwind protect until it ran out of PP, and then one with Moonblast to a KO. It was insane. That's why Feint would have been so good in something like Serena, because you could feint the Whimsicott, break the sash, and then
big discharge.
Insane.
Yeah, I think it's Nick Navarre, Rajan Bal, and Aaron Trailer were all part of the same team, and 3 out of 4 of them made top cut for Indy.
It's such an Aaron Trailer team. I was so hyped to see him on stream D2 because he's such a hyper offense player in the face of most of the top players in NA, especially being very balance oriented players. And then Trailer just comes in. He's had Whimsicott on every team since Whimsicott existed. He just clicks Tailwind and he clicks the big fucking move every time.
That's how you do it.
He's
the Mark Murray
remarkably
special.
consistent.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's the Aaron Trailer special. I can't take credit for that, but I do enjoy that.
Did you all fill in your
VGC 2022? He had after he got interviewed. I think it was after he won his top 8 match. He had Tailwind and Cotton Spore on his Whimsicott, and he's aggressively ADHD, so he talks faster than I could comprehend, which is very funny because the way he described his team was he said, no matter what happens, I will always go first. I'm always faster than you. The way he spoke, he definitely was, and that's just how his brain is wired. He goes so bloody fast, and he plays like it. He is an incredible player. He's one of my favorites personally.
Yeah, I think the very interesting thing about Maridon winning Indy is that in the previous biggest online event, the best place for it was 35th.
It had been written off by a lot of people.
Was that the one Wolf won with the Kelly Clefairy?
No, that was Michael DeBester. It's the one where Joe UX came second with Shadow Horse, yeah.
Well, everyone wrote it off because all the future Paradox mons are not very good. But the thing is, you don't need them. You just run Maridon itself, and then just build a team around that.
Maridon is all the future
Paradox. Iron Bundle. Iron Bundle.
Yes, yeah, we know you're a strong soldier of Iron Bundle.
With that side discharge.
I will
Terra Ground Iron
Terra Ground Iron Bundle.
The skill swap telepathy.
I stand by my little penguin guy. I will continue to fight for him.
You can't get rid of it.
True. Quark Drive.
Yeah.
Did everyone fill in their Maridon apology cards that were going around on Twitter?
I saw Wolf's and I just thought that's enough for me.
I'm still not convinced. I'm convinced that Trailer and Co are incredibly good team builders and incredibly good players. I'm not convinced that Maridon is like the Pokemon of the format. We're only one tournament deep.
I'd say A tier still though. Not S tier, but A tier for sure.
It's a big stat stick. It's a fundamentally good Pokemon.
But the fact that you can just deny a Moongus, like that was why he was winning games, because people would lead a Moongus and then he would just control the terrain by like volt switching and stuff, and they could never spore anything.
Yeah. No,
I love that.
It's got incredible multipliers built into itself. Terra Electric, there's your ×2. Choice Specs makes it effectively ×3.
And he had Helping Hand as well.
Helping Hand, which is another, so that's 4.5. And then the terrain is 0.3.
Terrain is 0.3. And then there's also
it's like a 5.8 or a 6 times multiplier.
And then there's
the
ability boost as well. Hadron Engine, I think it is.
Hadron,
it's like 1.33 recurring.
And then it gets a crit hit too as well, just to make sure.
So you're talking about a mon that's hitting like X8, X9.
Yeah, so resisted monsters die.
It's the new version of last gen's Regieleki when Transistor was an insane multiplier, and you just set terrain, give it a life orb, click buttons because
blow things up
because you're hitting like 4.75 times or something. It's basically that.
Is it too
restricted?
Is it too meta now for Perth to run? We're gonna
yes.
We're gonna have to find something jank to use.
I think my desire to run the most brain dead, hard hitting Unga Bunga team is actually going to outweigh my desire to run off meta mons. I feel like even if it is meta and I'm being a bit of a normie by picking it, I'm still just going to go big button go burr.
Did you see the other week when that Wigglytuff won an event? There was an event where there was no Shadow Riders in the top 8, but the winning team had
I know
a
the one you're
Wigglytuff
talking about,
because of like hard wall Shadow Rider.
What's the mechanism for hardwalling the Shadow Rider?
It's typing, so it's Ghost, Fairy. It can't be hit by Dragon or Ghost.
not.
It doesn't.
It's
it resists,
normal fairy.
Sorry, it can't be hit by Astral Barrage.
Yeah.
So it would just like it doesn't
Yeah,
take
it
enough
doesn't matter.
damage.
Yeah. And
So
then
it's a normal type. That's it. Okay. And Wigglytuff's the only one of those.
Well, it's good against other things like
It's immune to dragons as well.
It's Dragapult.
Look, I had
It does wall Dragapult.
I had a few games today with Gloom where just switching the Indeedian was enough to stop Cali S.
Are we going to talk about that team? Are we?
I think we should, because I think it's a wonderful meme.
Because that was all Twitter talked about for like 3 days. But did anyone actually bring it to Indy? I didn't see it.
I didn't see it, and we unfortunately don't have usage just yet on Indy. None of the sites are updated, which is fair enough because it effectively finished yesterday.
They were a lot of people on Twitter walking around with Gloom Dugong plushies, like with the Gloom running on Dugong's back, and
the new Calyrex.
And yeah, I props to them for scaring people into thinking that they were running that team.
I think one of the funniest Twitter memes in relation to that team would have been Ashton Cox's Twitter post, where he said on the best of 3 ladder, he played against like 15 Calyrex Ice teams in a row.
Damn.
And then somebody took that and made a meme of like the best of 3 versus best of 1, where best of 1 ladder is just this fucking Gloom Dugong.
Yeah.
And best of 3, like Cali Ice has the highest usage.
I have to say, playing on Showdown on the best of 3 ladder, there is so much Calyrex Ice.
I think the thing that attracts people with Calyrex Ice is that you don't have to set up Trick Room. Like if you get Trick Room up, great, you're going to win. But like it's so tanky that you don't actually have to set up Trick Room.
So tanky.
So it's just such an easy mon to win with.
It's basically bigger Ursaluna Blood Moon. Like a lot of semi-room teams don't even click it. When I was running my Trick Room team with Blood Moon, you run into the mirror, and instead of setting Trick Room and playing that stupid war, I'm just denying Trick Room and clicking funny button with Blood Moon because there's nothing they can fucking do to stop it. Calyrex Ice Rider is kind of the same, but on fucking steroids. And on a horse on steroids, for that matter.
It's ridiculous. You don't need to worry about going first when you can eat 2 super effective attacks and still be fine. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a Pokemon that eats hard-hitting super effective attacks as well as Calyrex Ice does.
Wonder how long until weakness policy comes back. We don't need Dynamax for that.
I've already seen some on Showdown. I don't think it's that good because
Dugong on Showdown.
Can we talk about that, because that had a weakness policy?
Talk about
the Dugong Gloom shenanigans.
What's running weakness policy on that team?
All right, so I mean, to be honest, I watched a lot of games of people had like match replays, and a lot of the games people just won by spamming Horn Drill and Fisher and Ting-Lu.
Regulation C, Ting-Lu.
Yeah. But the other win cons was that they would lead Dugong, which threatened fake out Horn Drill, right? But it also had Aquajet, side proc into Armor Rouge, weak armor, weakness policy, which would then outspeed and go like plus 2 heat wave.
Yeah,
and we've seen that before.
There's some reggae bullshit.
It also had endure and stored power, and that was the Armor Rouge. The Gloom had stench with the flinch chance, but it didn't really attack. It was mainly there for like strength sap, teeter dance, sleep powder.
The ones that I saw were actually loaded dice bullet seed stench. So
there was people started like building their own varieties of it.
Yeah.
The original didn't have the bullet seed.
Probably a good call.
Do we know who the originator of this team was? Like, as far as I'm aware, somebody found it on Showdown and was like, why is this thing at 1700? It happened a few times and then people reverse engineered it. But his
username is BIEI. And that's all we know. That's all I know. I find out who he...
So nobody knows who the actual human person behind this monster...
We all thought it was Wolf Glick, but then he wasn't going to so, the trick room... It was a Lunala team, and it was had a trick room mode.
Yes.
We had Indeedee, like Follow Me, Psychic Train, all that sort of stuff. And it had and then Lunala had trick room. But it also had Ting-Lu, which just spanned Fisher... for most of the times I saw it, and I had Power Herb, Lunala. It was just beating. There were so many good players on Twitter being like, "Yep, it got me too. Yep, it beat me too. Yeah, you guys weren't joking." And then I saw like YouTubers like built the team themselves and started like playing through it, and they were just cackling themselves because all they were doing is just. The Dugong is surprisingly bulky. If you're like Gloom, Ting-Lu, like things don't die. Lunala, it's got Shadow Shield, and they win because they hit Horndrill or Fisher 30% of the time. That's enough when you're playing a long game to they'll just one hit KO their other opponents are restricted. and they're just like you can't win once you've like lost your best Pokemon.
I don't know. I reckon I could beat it.
As a casual loot.
I've never actually played against it, but I reckon I'd have it.
All right. Well, it was genius. However, it was toxic, but
No.
hilarious.
No,
Some great memes.
It wasn't genius. It's best of one closed team sheet ladder arse, and we are in the modern era. There's no place for that. It's not genius.
Maybe
It's
save it for a global challenge. Global challenge would have, probably would have won that.
It's funny, but genius is not it.
Well, I'm certainly not going to build the team. I have too much self-respect.
Don't act like you
Yeah.
haven't fucking already built.
No, I probably built worse, but I haven't built that team.
Yeah, Flapple at 2022.
I mean, we're talking a lot of shit for a team that very much could have come out of Perth. Like, that's some nonsense someone here would cook.
Something like Jared.
Yeah.
Jared Clapham.
Jared Clapham, resident jank provider.
He does bring some like ingenious jank.
No,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. He's a mad genius.
Yeah.
When he's not just bringing the most abhorrently bad teams.
I don't know.
But-
I reckon this team. I reckon Jared is above this team. This is more like some fucking Alfie Worgan jank. If you ask me.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, for context, for all those listening who don't know who we're talking about, this person recently into our Western Australian VGC group chat provided a paste which had Life Orb Wochien with Solar Beam.
Don't want to hear what the rest of the mons were.
No, I don't think I could physically bring myself to say it. There was an Ampharos. Which
Oh, that exists.
yeah, on his team.
Sure.
But-
Mark, you're a very fashionable individual. You sit before me now in a pink shirt and a beautiful floral pink tie.
Thank you.
I might need
even-
to take a photo of this for the O2 Drop Twitter just to confirm.
He's a very well groomed man.
Yeah, just ask my uncle.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, that was cheap.
I want to.
That
I actually want to talk about fashion at the events because this is something
Yeah,
that I have
please.
been infamous at. I get bothered on stream when people just wear like the most horrible outfits on stream.
It's. I mean, I don't know that any of us are surprised when competitive Pokemon players aren't exactly dressed for the Paris Fashion Week.
Oh,
but
I think just some color would be good. There's a lot of grey hoodies and grey t-shirts and grey
these are people who have spent their life in high school just being shoved into lockers and given swirlies.
sweaty
right?
nerds in basements.
These are nerds who just kind of like need to make themselves as unnoticeable as possible.
Well, some people make themselves very noticeable, and I want to give a massive shout out to Jesse Romolo. I think I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not Jesse. I know you're a huge fan of the show.
Thanks for tuning in, Jesse. We
So-
love your work.
Jesse is the legend who wore a hot dog outfit to a big event.
Oh, the filthy cheater who doesn't take the game
Filthy
seriously.
cheater who doesn't take the game seriously because he wears a hot dog outfit. In Indianapolis, he wore what's the name of the character? The one like the guy who's always asleep that has like the candle.
Sleepy dwarf.
It's not.
I don't know. Was he
cosplayed
a specific character? He was wearing like a nightshirt and a nightcap and holding like one of those old timey candles,
Yeah,
like
and we had like was like
looking
looking
like-
sleep on stream.
looking like Ebenezer Scrooge from a Christmas. What's it called? A Christmas Carol.
He's got a name.
Wait.
I'm telling you, he's a name, and someone's gonna. Hopefully, one of our many listeners will post on our.
Hopefully, yes. Do
tell us what the name
tweet
of the
us.
character is. Please tweet us what the character that Jesse Romolo was dressed up as.
I'm sure Velicified knows exactly who it was.
Yeah, probably some character that cheated.
I bet he even knows which cart the hot dog costume came from.
Was it like a take on Merlin? Like Sleepy Merlin from an early Disney movie?
Look, if that's correct, then
Quite possibly.
congratulations. If it's not correct,
Like
please let us know.
I don't know.
Like Fantasia, was that it? Oh wait, no, that was
That was
Wizard.
Mickey Mouse with like
Mickey.
the wizard robes.
I
Yeah,
don't.
Yeah.
It was a robe.
It was a stereotypical sleepy costume.
it was great, and
It was so good.
The memes
Big Mr.
obviously
Bean
were
for born in
fantastic.
the early 90s.
Another also there was a guy in I think he was a TCG player actually, but he had dressed up as Chen Pao, and he had this like awesome Chen Pao like hoodie that had like a sort of came down in like a cloak and with like the whole
Yeah.
texture of Chen Pao, and it
That-
looked amazing.
That one wasn't a meme. That was just genuinely a good
A
outfit.
good outfit. Yeah, I think I don't know if he ran Chen Pao deck. If he did, that's a terrible choice for TCG. But
It did
I did.
get second, by the way.
Look,
AD.
there are every now look. A broken clock is correct twice a day, all right, and then every now and then a Chen Pao deck doesn't brick and actually wins a game. So well done for coming second, whoever that was. That's a very impressive
Grant
feat.
Shen, like the best Chin Power player in the world. Anyway, moving on to VGC stream.
We love our other games, Liv.
Well, but like I want to.
We love assessing the outfits of the people in all of it.
We're talking about fashion, and what I will give people a free pass because like you see some people on stream looking pretty haggard. And sometimes people like they haven't slept in a few days. They're a bit manic. Their eyes are darting everywhere. And what you need to realize that these days they start at like 8 a.m. Sometimes they're finishing at 6, 7 p.m. at night. They've gone through like 9+ rounds. They're exhausted. They've got bed hair half the time on stream. They haven't eaten. I haven't slept. And like I want you to compare when Wolfie won. Was it Orlando? I'm going to get my regionals right. The most recent win. Yeah. So when he won that, he looked like a homeless person on stream. Like he had like a flannelette shirt or something on, and he just looked like he slept on the street.
Hair. Yeah.
And then fast forward to Indianapolis, and he's a caster. And we'll get to that in a minute. But there he is in like these he had like a pale blue suit on. I think day 2 and day 1 he had like a tan suit.
Yeah.
It was not bad, the fashion. I thought there was still not like people were wearing like very pale coloured suits and then like a white shirt. I wanted to see more I want more vibrance. Yeah, it was very plain and conservative. I want to see bolder outfits from the casters.
There's a Pokemon Go caster, I think, who's always got like those sequiny blazers, like proper sparkly.
Yeah, well, that's
jackets.
something.
They look great.
I love a bit of bling, and yeah.
Is that the Australian caster?
I think so.
can't
He's got a
remember.
moustache.
Oh, okay. It's not
That guy with the moustache.
moustache.
But like, the casters need to lift their game. The players, I know they're usually like in hoodies or like those play Pokemon t-shirts.
We need to see more hot dog outfits.
I want to see more cosplay. I want to see more elaborate outfits. I want to see some like Ethan level costumes. Okay, I want
Ethan
did,
Walters, regular
makeup-
contributor to the show.
Yes, I want hair did, makeup did, heels on, fishnets on, skirts on. I want to see that on stream.
Just cross dresses all the way.
It doesn't have to be cross dresses. It could be a female player wearing that. More female players on stream would be good too, actually.
Oh yeah, for sure.
As
More female players in general, I think, would
As
benefit
long
the
as
community.
people cannot be thirsty idiots on stream, in chat.
Yeah,
We've called out
that's a
this
big
before.
ask. Well, that's true. We called it out on the second episode of the O2 drop, which means we have solved the problem.
We have.
Our podcast with tens of listeners.
Yes.
That message has reached far and wide.
We're nearly in the dozens.
Yeah. No, we are in the dozens. Yeah, we're reaching about 60 people, and that's 5 dozen people.
Yeah.
Huge.
Some baker's
Or
dozens.
3 score.
But what should we think? I
3 score
personally-
is the number that someone would unironically use if they dressed up like in Jordan's old man nightshirt, nightcap, sleepy time outfit.
I mean, Jesse's.
What did I say? Jordan?
You
Yeah.
did, yeah.
Yeah, Jesse. My apologies, Jesse.
And we know you're listening. So I was a low key like, would I rather see Wolfie play? Would I rather see him cast? And this was his first time like casting an official event. And there's just because obviously him and Aaron do YouTube videos together. They're both in like the
Beast Coast.
East Coast, yeah. So the chemistry between those two on stream, they get so excited when they cast and like they elevate. I feel like they're. And like so does like Necro, I mean, and like all that. They also they'll get in like Lulu the Pikachu, whatever. Like they all get excited when they play, but something about those two bouncing off each other's energy. It was a perfect partner like ship.
Yeah,
casting.
it was an amazing cast having those two on, and one of our locals in chat pointed out that there was a situation that a normal caster would just be kind of blabbing around, but then you've got Woofy and Cybertron there, and they're explaining the interaction in game as to why that particular thing knocked out that Pokemon, even though there was screens.
Yeah,
so they're going through
they're doing the
multiplier-
math.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was.
I will say all of the casters that we have are above average players. They're all very competent players, but
Yeah.
Wolf and Cybertron, especially Wolf, are like some of the best players in the world. And I
Absolutely.
think having those insights into the matches really added something to the recent stream. And
play-
I would like to see more of that.
Play Pokemon if you're listening. Sorry, so if you're listening, we do need casters for Perth regionals. We don't get a stream, and we really need it to elevate the local product. So
If you need
listening,
locals who
we need above
to
average.
commentate.
We need above average.
I think I'm an above average player.
I mean, we could get Woofy to Perth to.
I'm going to touch on that later. I have started a campaign. Yeah, sorry, Sliff.
I'll cast if Wolfie plays so we can get him on stream.
Amazing.
Going back to Wolfie and Cybertron, they're really good understanding of the game. When in the finals, in Game 3 of finals, like the penultimate turn, is it Rajan Bal?
Yeah, that's
right.
right. Yeah.
He protects his Whimsicott and then clicks Discharge, and the average caster may have missed a particular interaction that us at home would know, or they might pose it more in the form of a question. And Wolf getting all excited as he does because he's just uncontrollably ADHD. He goes, "Why did he protect the Whimsicott? The Discharge is going to do less damage next turn. It might not kill the Terrapagos." I love like the incredible hype, but also just like it's something most no, that's not true actually. Most competitive spectators would understand.
Yeah.
And I get that the casters do need to appeal to the fact that there are a lot of more casual, not to use that in a derogatory sense, players who don't understand as much, who might needs to break it down and explain it. But as a competitive player who knows all these things, I feel like they tend to oversimplify some explanations, and Wolf just fucking blurts it out.
Yeah.
Just
This
to
is the
clarify,
critical summary of what is happening right here, right now.
And then there's more time for them to talk shit in between turns.
to clarify for some of perhaps our more casual listeners, why would protecting his Whimsicott be a bad move for clicking Discharge?
Because Discharge is a spread move,
Yep.
and the way spread moves work in double battles is they deal 75% less damage.
Well, no, 75% of the damage.
Sorry, yeah.
25% less damage.
That would be yeah. Sorry. When there are multiple targets.
Yeah, so
And
it deals 75% of the total base power to each of the
Yes.
targets rather than the total power. So Earthquake with 100 base power would be
75.
the equivalent of 75 base power on each one.
Stomping tantrum.
It is basically spreads
but to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, and because the Whimsicott was on the field and Discharge targets his side, yeah, that's what would have happened. The Discharge would have done less damage. Wolf thinks that
So
he should
essentially,
have-
in the first turn, knocking out the Whimsicott means in the second turn there will only be one
it
target for
guarantees the
Discharge,
Terrapagos, yes.
which means Discharge would have more damage, right?
And for some reason, not only did he make that actually pretty crucial misplay that could have cost him the game because Terra Starstorm was game over if he didn't get the kill.
Yep.
He goes for the protect on the last turn on Whimsicott, and he lands the double protect for no reason at all.
Anyway,
the
but
most
like,
insane hyperflex.
if it didn't KO though, you see like Tailwind up, the Whimsicott would have been able to kill him next turn with Moonblast.
Would have been able to get a Moonblast off, yeah.
So I didn't mind it, and I knew it was going to kill him. But I've been watching Mariah on Calcs like all weekend. Like
Yeah.
that thing was dying no matter what.
Yeah. Well, as we just said before, it's X8
Yeah,
at that point.
crazy.
But one of my favorite Wolfie moments from the weekend was when he was casting with Gabby Snyder, and there was a dual terrestrialization, and he was commenting on who he thought the terrestrialization was on, and he got it wrong, and he's just like, no, for like a solid 10 seconds, and Gabby just has no idea what to do. She's just trying to bring Wolf back to the world, where he's like devastated that he's got the wrong commentary on which Pokemon terrestrialize at that very moment. And he was right. The Pokemon that he thought terrestrialized did terrestrialize because it was two Pokemon terrestrializing at the same time.
Yeah.
And he's just, no. It was a great moment on stream.
There were also a lot of really cool moments where a move would be clicked into a certain target, and before the move connected, Wolfie would just say, "So that's going to kill," and then he moves on.
Yeah.
Whereas most casters would try and hype it and be like, "Is this going to take the knockout? Let's see." And most of us at home are like,
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
He doesn't
Yeah,
say
unless
that.
it misses.
He doesn't say that's going to kill. He goes bye bye.
"Yeah, bye bye, yeah.
Bye-bye."
Way before it's even happened, and then that means that him and Aaron or him and Necro or whoever he was partnered with on those particular times get to talk more about the game state and focus on the turn that's coming rather than hype up this 30-second animation that we know what's going to happen. And I don't know, maybe TPCI asked the casters to try to hype it up, which would make sense. But I think Wolf's version of casting, where he just announces this is what's going to happen because he's so well informed, he knows that's happening. And most of us at home do as well. And then it allows them to now go, let's talk about the next turn.
Yeah.
I
I will also say just quickly that on top of that, Wolf likely doesn't say that's going to kill because he's probably been instructed, as I imagine all casters are, by TPCI to not use the term kill.
Okay,
Even though very colloquially,
it's a knockout. Yeah.
colloquial in common usage. regular players will say, "Oh, this kills. I've killed their Pokemon." But notably, Pokemon do not kill each other, and I'm sure Pokemon are very keen to maintain their brand image of Pokemon not killing each other. So I get the feeling a caster who uses the term "kill" would probably get in a lot of trouble.
Hang on, I think Miraidon.
No.
I think Miraidon did actually kill a few.
Oh yeah, probably. They're dead. They went the way of Gary's Raticate. Yeah.
I think to Sliff's point about how casters commentate currently, I think they have a really difficult job given that spectator mode does not exist in Western streams. Previously in Sword and Shield, they would be commentating a match where we couldn't see what people are picking. And now we can see at least 50% of what's going to happen. And they have to commentate as if we aren't going to see, like,
Right.
So I think they have a really difficult job to try and, like, talk about things that are happening as if we didn't have prior information that was happening.
Well, they usually explain why they're trying to think, oh, he's going to do this because of this. They're trying to, like, explain why they're clicking those buttons.
Wolfie also just ignores that. He's like, oh, so he locked into Moonblast. Which, honestly, I don't know. I think that's the better way to cast. And this isn't just like sucking off Wolfie, because everybody knows he's our god, he's our king. We love him to death. But
he's coming to Perth next year.
It gets really frustrating as a competitive player watching the casters hype up a turn that we know is going to happen, but we have to wait 60 seconds for animations and have them pretend like, but what move did he click? What was the target? And we're all like, we saw it. Just maybe he wasn't instructed, or maybe he's just like in a position where he doesn't care.
Or maybe they instructed him to go about it a different route.
Maybe they instructed him to be really hyped, because I mean, the stream at one point had like 19,000 viewers, which
that's probably the most I've seen.
Yeah,
for regionals, definitely.
Yeah, it's not much for like an esport, but for VGC regionals, a lot of people play, not a lot of people watch. And I think Wolf being on stream, because Twitch chat loves to ask that, probably helped elevate the numbers. And then him behaving in the Wolf way, not in the TPCI watered down scripted way, is what people would have watched the stream for.
Hasn't he got like 1 million YouTube followers?
He has over 1 million,
He's past 1 million.
He brings in the numbers.
Yeah.
This is pretty good considering only a few hundred players, a few hundred cheaters play VGC. It's pretty good. We've got 19,000 watching the stream.
I think you can tell just how many people were on stream, because at one point, that legal gambling we're allowed to do in Twitch streams, there was like 8 million Twitch points being used on who was going to go. And like that is the highest number I've ever seen. Even when like we were dumping tens of thousands in at EUIC, it didn't get up to 8 million in the pot. So yeah, the viewership definitely was up. Yeah. The casting quality was way up on anything that we've had.
Yes.
I think probably since Swoosh, and Ding Dong It's Bronzong is just peak casting.
Yeah.
We haven't had that Ding Dong It's Bronzong call for a while.
No.
There was a
I said it at Perth Regionals. Someone sent a Bronzong out, and I said to him, Ding Dong It's Bronzong.
It is still a meta relevant mon. Maybe we'll get on that call on stream again someday.
Maybe.
I mean, if we get the stream for the MSS coming up, then please, everybody bring a Bronzong just to set me up, and so I can go. And then after saying Ding Dong It's Bronzong, as soon as the turn's locked in, I'm just going to say this kills and pull a wolf, because my arm's going to be wrong.
Look, as long as our MSS stream looks better than the Sao Paulo regional stream, I'll be pretty happy.
Look, no pressure, but the MSS is in 2 weeks, so you don't have a lot of time to be setting up the
stream. Do we have the equipment to do it?
By this weekend, I think, is when we'll discuss, and well, it'll be after this weekend when this comes out.
Yeah.
Will be when we finalize like whether it's logistically possible and whether the store will allow it. And if we do, then I want to get in there. Kieran and I will cast. If not, I'll play with Lanala and go O2 drop.
Promote the stream that way. I think it'd be awesome if you guys get a stream up. I will unfortunately not be in the state. I'll be over in Melbourne, bow hunting Easterners in the street to try to help our Perth boys get the travel allowance.
So for the MSS, so we've had Indianapolis, we've dissected that to death. Like what are we now going to do for the rest of Reg G? Because, I won't be playing to make worlds because I'm just not going to get there. I think I'm like 100 CP off at least. So like,
You're doing better than me.
Yeah, I'm going to be having.
I'm only on like 190.
God, okay, I don't think I even got that. So I'm 150 off. Let's say with that. But like, so I want to have some fun with it.
I don't know if it's format that's going to be fun.
Not going to be fun.
There's fun to be had.
There's fun to be had.
Not
when you're
necessarily
playing
from
with
winning,
friends. Yeah.
but
Because everybody's seen the X8 multiplier that Volt Switch gets now.
I'm going home and I'm cooking that team, by the way.
Okay. I'll tell you what team I'm cooking. All right, we can do a cooking or cooked actually.
Let's
You
do
can
it.
tell me.
Hit us.
All right.
Wait. Can we rate it, hate it, or defecate it?
You can rate it, hate it, and defecate it as well.
And if it's all three, we have to elaborate it.
That is correct. That is correct. So I think this Pokemon is being slept on, and no one puts it anything higher than like C on their tier
Cooked
lists. You haven't even let me finish yet. All right.
All right. Sorry. Please go ahead.
Solgaleo.
Cool.
All right. Just hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. Sunsteel Strike bypasses things like Sturdy Ogerpon, Terra Shell, Shadow Shield. It's got knockoff for Kali Shadow Rider. It's got Psychic Fangs, like Helping Hand, Psychic Fangs, one hit KOs Amoonguss. It's got Close Combat, which can KO an Incineroar with either like Life Orb or Helping Hand. It's got Sunsteel Strike can Helping Hand Sunsteel Strike KOs a Calyrex Ice at full health. This is I'm assuming nothing terrors in these calc, obviously.
Big assumption, but go on.
If you're running like those 4 coverage moves, you can run an AV set because you don't need Clear Amulet or Clamulet. So because you've got because of full metal body, you don't need to waste an item slot on
which is full metal body, which is clear body for wankers.
Cool.
Yes,
By the way, you should be running Covert Cloak. If you've already got the Clamulet, as you call it, inbuilt, I reckon you put Cloak on it as well, and you're basically
I've got Faragiraf on the team,
to
mate.
like all the disruption.
I've got Faragiraf.
Well, you're cooked. You're wrong.
Pelipper. We've already said Pelipper had
Oh, here we go.
18% usage on day 1, 26% usage on day 2. It was 60
Not
highest
Solgaleo
usage.
didn't.
Yes. Okay. If you think about it though, what's that different to like Zacian, Zamazenta, or Calyrex Ice Rider? I guess have been the main ones plus Pelipper, right?
People weren't running Zacian.
But like, what's the
It
difference?
wasn't in top 8 usage.
True. That is true. My point is,
Much like Solgaleo.
Pelipper gives it wide guard support, nerfs the fire weakness. It's got Tailwind, it's got Helping Hand, it's got wide guard. You've got Urshifu Rapid Strike in the rain. I'm going to Orlando Eye, and then
So you're running a rain team with Solgaleo and you think you're cooking.
I do. I think this is. I've built this team. I'm
Let
gonna
me tell you where you've gone wrong. Steely Spirit, Helping Hand, Terra Steel, Sun Steel Strike, Oko's Bulky Terrapagos through Terra Shell.
So I'm running Berserker.
You're running Berserker.
I'm not running Berserker.
Yeah.
You've run that count.
There we go. There we go. Now you're cooking.
There we go.
That is a joke, of course.
This is
That's
my team.
garbage.
So you've got Fragile
if
to
I
block
do
Sucker
cast
Punch.
Mark, you're running my team. You're running Berserker, right? In my stead.
I'm going to be in Melbourne.
Fuck. And Chris sucks. Baguli or Ethan in the background. One of you. Oh, you're running Miraidon. No, you.
I mean, Baguli.
Okay. Ethan's running Solgaleo at the MSS. You heard
It's
it
a
here
good-
first, but you
I
didn't
think
because the MSS has already
It's
happened.
being slept on.
Not quite.
No. This episode
It's
will come
the
out
Thursday before MSS.
2 days before the MSS, yeah.
My last.
So for all the Easterners coming over for the MSS, as I'm sure you are.
There's going to be more TCG players than VGC players there. The Eastern won't have a table, dude. I've invited like half of WCPL and they accidentally said yes.
My last mon is Eevee like Clefairy with like Follow Me, Helping Hand, Icy Wind, and After You, because if they get Trick Room up, I can After You my Solgaleo and kill the Calyrex Ice and Trick Room.
It's a great explanation.
Because it underspeeds it underspeeds everything other than like a Moongus and Hatterene and Trick Room and Torkoal. But no one runs Torkoal
And Pink
Reg G.
Urchin.
Amazing discussion.
No one runs that either.
That's not true. At the most recent PC, I got beaten by it.
That-
Mostly because I missed
that's
Heatwave 3 times in a
That's
row.
a skill
But
issue for you.
Skill issue.
Was it Chi-Yu Heatwave?
yeah.
Anyway, so cooking or cooked?
We already answered that.
Yeah, I think I've made that pretty clear. I like Solgaleo. I don't think it's good, but I like it. I think going back to we're talking about how to have fun in Reg G, I think running Solgaleo. Except I think go further. Run it with weakness policy.
And then how am I doing like a bulldoze proc or something?
Yeah, Bulldoze. It's got a clear body. It's not gonna. You're not gonna drop your own speed. You're gonna drop their speed.
Weakness policy is just a
Right.
Dynamax meme.
I love
No.
2022.
Cooking or cooked. Booster speed Sandy Sharks with Bulldoze. Drop both of their speed. Your Solgaleo doesn't get its speed drop because clear body. You don't have a decent spread move. You maybe take out one of them and then you lose. Cooking or
Cooking,
cooked?
cooking.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you
cooks.
very much. Yeah.
Well, is it more or less cooked than my other dude that I was spruiking on in our group chat the other day when it had the tail glow button pass bowl beat
I love
into,
that
into
idea.
Shadow Shield,
Cooking.
into Shadow Shield Lunala with like a full team to support. I thought it was really good.
I love Tail Glow Baton Pass. It's fucking dog water, but yeah, I like it.
If it can survive a turn, it's got Prankster. Like it can
That's a big if. I mean, what are you running it with? Focus Ash?
I think it was Clover Close.
What have you done to this?
Well, no, it was maybe it was Circus.
What have you done?
It would need to be Focus Sash. You need to.
Well, it has
survive a turn and
redirection
hope that-
support because it's battle passing out. So you lead like something like Incineroar, Amoonguss, Clefairy, whatever you want in
Oh
the
my
lead
God.
slot. Either.
Did your sister hear this shit?
She did. She's all over it.
Because yeah,
Of course.
I-
Shout out to Chris's sister. Don't listen to this man.
the
I
team
was
works.
chatting to her about.
Yeah, maybe in 1200 on Showdown it works.
That's really high for me.
I was chatting to her about team ideas, and what that means is she was telling me bad team ideas, and one of them was Shed Tail into Shadow Shield Lunala, which was almost not terrible. But then
That's for my Earthworm Dragonite team.
yeah, and that's why it is terrible.
I top 4 a tournament with that, a PC with that. Thank you.
5 total players.
I beat Alistair with it. I beat Alistair in top 8.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank
You know what? The round before,
It's Alistair Sandover, by the way, great player.
Yeah.
Shout out.
like in between like the Swiss and Top Cut as well, Alistair was like, "Oh, what's Chris running?" And we told him, and he goes, "Oh, that's easy. I clapped that." And then he got dumpstered.
The man has nothing but confidence.
Yeah, let this be a lesson to everyone. Never, under any circumstances, before entering a battle, say, "Oh, this is going to be easy. I beat this team."
Well,
Because you will always lose 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
the PC before that at Morley, Alistair goes, "I fucking hate playing in Perth. It's just all hyper offense and trick room." And I was like, "So you hate beating us because you always run balance and we can never beat you?" He went 3-2 and bubbled out a top cut that day.
Whoa.
Jesus.
Shout out to Alistair Sandover. No disrespect. You know it's all in jest.
Meanwhile, last time I came up against him, he's like, "Oh, this is such a hard matchup for me. Your team counters mine," and then he kicked the fuck out of me.
That is more classic Alistair, yeah.
Yeah.
I had one shout out to while we're talking about Jank Mons. Shout out to Moxie Boosted. Marcos ran Wochen at Indianapolis and got his
Huge.
Worlds invite.
Man,
Nice. Getting a
absolute
world's
mad
invite
lad.
off
Off Wochen, and it was like Wochen that got the KO to win the game for the Worlds invite as well.
That's
Big dick
amazing.
energy.
It's such a great Pokemon. I love it.
I would love to do a cooked or cooking on my team, but I'm pretty sure it was just one of the Terrapagos teams that made top 8.
Hit us.
So Cooks then.
It is funny that the team you showed me like a month ago
Yeah.
is like 5 of the same 6 Mons, I think it is, ended up winning Indianapolis. You showed it, well, not a month ago, but like very early in Reg G, sent me
Yeah.
that replay of your like Zoom Turtle.
Zoom Turtle, yeah.
And I was like, bro, this is the shit. And then it doesn't win, it gets second at a fucking regional.
Yeah. So mine is Amoonguss, Fluttermane, Tornadus. I haven't quite figured out whether I want Sun for damage.
What's the
or
item on Fluttermane?
Booster? It's support Flutter.
Thank
Okay.
you. Yep.
So it's Taunt, Moon, Icy Wind. The fish, the turtle, and Urshifu Water.
Is this Chi-Yu? The
Yeah.
fish?
Yeah.
The fish Chiyu, the turtle Terrapagos. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is 5 of the 6, right? I don't think he had Urshifu.
I don't think he had Urshifu, no. But
It's-
I think he had Incineroar instead.
Yeah, it's fucking uncanny.
I'm
though.
going to
No,
give
I
it a
watched-
tentative cooking. I think there's...
I'm at 1450 in closed team sheet. I haven't done best of 3 yet because I'm not up to that point with
Yeah,
my
that's
team building.
fair.
The issue I have with I've seen that very similar sort of teams on stream, and the weakness of the team was if they can remove the Terrapagos, because the Fluttermane's a support mon, like they can pretty much almost ignore the Fluttermane, and like the damage output of the team is lacking if you don't have like Chi-Yu in a good position on the field, like the other team's got Trigger and Tail End up or something, and you've lost your Terrapagos, which can sort of sponge your hit, but like your damage output. The Urshifu is a good call though, because that's damage.
The thing that I have learned with this team is that Terrapagos probably isn't a starting. It's not a frontline Pokemon.
There's a lot of skill.
I agree.
Huge skill
It's
level to run it.
Like it's you want to be doing chip and run to get to the point where you're either like in Trick Room you're the slowest, or in Tailwind you're the fastest. And then you come in and sweep with Terrapagos in 2 turns.
kind of the same deal as Calyrex.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah,
thing it's got
Chip a
going
little bit,
for
then
it,
Spread move.
its stocks might rise because like it's pretty much the one thing, I guess, other than Rillaboom, that can remove on NDD as well, can remove the Peridon electric terrain.
Yeah, the problem is it's only once.
Yeah, but if they can't really switch out their Miraidon and you've managed to hold it until you really desperately need to get rid of that terrain to survive the turn.
Yeah. I mean, the very cool thing about a Glass Terapagos when you're max speed special attack is one Icy Wind makes you faster than Calyrex and Miraidon and Koraidon.
Okay.
Just because the 67% multiplier on a max Calyrex takes it down to 148 and Terapagos gets to 150.
All right, so run Wide Guard against you then.
Yeah.
Cool. Or Covert Cloak.
Or Covert Cloak. But yeah, that's like I said, it's basically already part of a top team, so I don't think you can really be a contender for cooking or cooked because it's already cooking.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to say cooking because you sent this to me way before Indianapolis.
Yeah,
and I was like,
at least 3 weeks ago, I think.
And
I was messing around with it.
I'm going to say cooking.
Yeah, it's the team I'm going to be using next on cart. I just need to get my ribbon on my Calyrex Ice, and then I'll be moving on to the turtle and seeing how that goes on ladder.
My other, apart from the Solgaleo team, which has already been read to filth, I also think Eternatus is being underappreciated.
No, it's not.
And I'm cooking with it at the moment. I am cooking with it.
That's the is it Cosmic Power? Just save the queen.
Think of those like Hyper Offense Glamora teams with like Power Herb Media.
You're running Power Herb Media.
Just like substitute Eternatus for the Glamora.
I like to think of myself as a bit of a pioneer. I was running that back in Sword and Shield when everyone else was running good Pokemon for the restricted formats. I was running Power Herb Eternatus, and I genuinely really liked it. It's got heaps of hit points, so it soaks up damage. And
Dragon is so good for the Firewater Grass cores out there. Dragon typing at the moment is so good.
Yes, I would say so.
I think the Dragon typing became very good at the end of Reg F, and I think it continues to be good.
Yeah, for sure.
There's only like one fairy in the game.
And it's a support.
It keeps falling off. Yeah, it's a support these days. Yeah,
it's just declining more and more.
Do we want to, because I know we're a bit pressed on time, just discuss open team sheets, as I know this is something that...
I would love to discuss open team sheets.
A bit of old news, by the way. It's 2 years into open team sheets. I was like, do we want to talk about this?
We are 2 years into open team sheets, but I think it's an important time because this is going to be we're coming into like our second Worlds with OTS.
Yep.
We... Like the Megas in Paris probably isn't going to be the game that we play.
So you want to Megas in Paris? Just clarify what you're talking about there. That would be Pokemon Legends Z to A.
Yeah, Legends Zygarde or whatever.
If we don't get Mega Flygon, I'm rioting.
Yeah, I will be Pretty pissed. Mega Hydreigon with 5 heads, please.
Yeah, that too.
Because obviously Legends Platinum Arceus, Platinum Legend Arceus, whatever it was.
Yep.
That wasn't a mainline game and it wasn't used for battle. So I would assume, and I think it's a safe assumption, that Zygarde, like Legend Zygarde, is going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
So we probably have 2 worlds left of this. We don't know what's coming after with that. But open team sheets basically exist because the permutations of what you can do with Pokemon in Gen 9 is so much bigger than it's ever been before.
With terrestrialization.
Yes. It changes up so much. And I think it would be an impossible game to play if we didn't have OTS.
But with Terra as a mechanic, it would be impossible to play.
It would be very painful to play for sure. And I think the skill cap would be greatly reduced.
Yes. I think gimmicks would reign supreme.
Yeah.
Smeagol. So to that end, I believe personally that open team sheets has increased the skill level.
Yeah.
Probably at the price of gimmicks, but I don't care about gimmicks. I hate playing against gimmicks. Like I ran positive in my first ever regionals because of gimmicks, and it doesn't feel good.
Speak for yourself. I'll keep my statement very brief. I'm a fan. Yes, open team sheets. It does make meme strats like almost unplayable or a lot more difficult to play.
Yep.
However, open team sheets has forced me to become a better player and think my plays through better. It's nice being able to like see what my opponents got, all their options, and trying to read. It forces me to get better at reading my opponent's moves and turns. I think it's good for the game, and I think the better players do better rather than just getting like wrecked by dumb meme strats that are probably not healthy for the game. So I'm going to go yes to Open Team Sheets. That's what I'm saying.
Do you want it to stick around for Gen 10, or do you think it would be?
What's the mechanic in Gen 10? And
Well,
then
I mean, that's a good question for sure.
Mega
Yeah.
terrestrialization Z.
I would love like a 5th move slot. Just if you're listening,
I would also like that. Yeah.
No.
Did we kind of have that? No, I suppose you're right. Yeah, Z moves wasn't really a 5th move
They
slot.
go through protect and stuff. I don't want anything dumb like that. I just want like a 5th move slot.
Yes.
But I don't know. Whatever the gimmick is, we'll have to. I think I don't see them going away. I don't see them reverting back to closed team sheets unless something radically changes. I don't see it.
Yeah, unless we get like a Gen 1 style game with 0 gimmicks
Yeah.
built into it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to predict what a gimmick's going to be like 2 years out, but yeah, I hope Open Team Sheets stick around for the rest of competitive play, because I think the skill ceiling has gone up and the skill floor has gone up with it. Like it's raised everyone.
I'd say so. I'm of two minds. When Open Team Sheets was introduced, I was staunchly opposed to Open Team Sheets, to the point where
But how can I run my meme?
Yeah, I mean, hey, the only reason I cut Perth back in 2020 was because no one realized I had Belch on my Hydreigon.
Yeah.
But you know, like the first tournament in Series 1, Sword and Shield, was Open Team Sheets, and I rocked up as a conscientious objector, and I told everyone who went to hand me their team sheets, don't give it to me, I'm playing this
I do
old-fashioned.
remember
Oh
that.
my god.
My favorite time was some guy who was quite snarky with me and said, no, well, I don't care if you're taking my team sheet or not, but I'm taking yours because that's the rules. Most of the people I played against was like, yeah, that's fun. Let's just do closed team sheets. He was just like, no, I'm taking your team sheet. I don't care if you're looking at mine or not. And then I kicked the fuck out of him 2-0.
Oh, man.
But I have to say my take on Open Team Sheets has changed drastically. I don't want to see it leave. I'm concerned that we're going to go back to closed team sheets after terrestrialization goes away. It's undoubtedly the presence of terrestrialization that caused the need for open team sheets.
Yeah.
And I think it was a very good judgment call on the part of Game Freak and the Pokemon Company International. But yeah, I would like to see it stick around. I have to agree with Chris. It's changed the way I play. It's not only because, you know, I have to think about things more, but also it's helped me to try to understand what my opponents are going to do, because if they look at a team sheet and they see the moves that my Pokemon have, I know they're trying to play around that. Yeah. I know, I think in the previous episode, Joel, you were mentioning losing games on cartridge because your opponent wasn't playing around you in the way that you were expecting them to.
Yes.
That's less of an issue in open team sheets because they know what you have, so they're more likely to be trying to play around it.
Yeah, 100%.
But also just like, I agree. As much as I kind of enjoy running gimmicks, it is a bit of a feels bad to lose to them. And I think, you know, having that clarity allows for more skill-based gameplay.
Yeah.
And I have to say, as a reformed open team sheets enjoyer, I do really hope it sticks around going into future generations, whatever the future gimmicks may be.
Agreed. Sliff.
So I think like most of Perth, I was also strongly opposed to open team sheets originally because I don't like change. And I do like Choice Scarf Infiltrator Chandelure that got me 5-2 regionals where I bubbled out of Top Cut because everybody was like, oh no, it must be the classic Sash Imprison set. I won't bring my Dusclops, but I will set screens, and I infiltrated them. But then we had a local, and at the time, this was the biggest grassroots we had here.
Yeah, we had 32 or 36 people at our first tournament for Scavvy.
Including yourself, playing for the first time locally, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, it was my first tournament locally, my first proper one, and I popped off.
Nice.
You fucking did. I went in hating OTS. I matched against you, and I lost to you in Swiss, and I was like, fuck. But that's
then you came at me with hyper offense in top 8.
Yeah, it's a different story, but we rematched in top 8. But before that day, I was like, fuck OTS, this is shit. While we're here, fuck Philip Brieg as well in terms of things. Yeah. Anyway, and then throughout that day, I played against I think 5 Meowscarada because Regulation A Series 1 was a thing where Meowscarada was like one of the fastest and strongest Pokemon at the time.
Yeah, mate, rest in
Definitely
peace.
S tier.
And on ladder, Meowscarada was a nightmare because it's got an unnecessarily deep fucking move pool.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
each of the Meowscarada I played against at that grassroots had a different set.
Yeah.
And I only knew that because of Open Team Sheet. And it allowed me to play around it and not get gimmicked out by Trick Room Meowscarada.
I'm sorry, what?
I
Yeah.
ran Trick Room Meowscarada.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah.
I versed a Trick Room Meowscarada, a Life Orb one, a Choice Band one, a Classic Sash Offense one, and I think another one was a support one with like fucking Pollen Puff or some shit. Like
Wild.
Meow's a crazy mon. By the end of that day, I won, which isn't why I like OTS.
It's
But-
the fact that you saw such a big range of
Yes.
Meowscarada that you're like, I would not be here without that.
And quite frankly, the team that I was running, if it was OTS, if it was closed team sheets, would have been a problem for my opponents because I had Choice Scarf, Final Gambit, Annihilate, and like Wide Lens Population Bomb Mousehold, and both of those mons can be run in two different
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
And if you had closed team sheets, you need to make a educated guess on that. And my team wouldn't have revealed that immediately, and you may have just lost the set because you guessed wrong.
Yeah.
And I would have lost to these Meowscaradas because I guessed wrong. Seeing terrors, knowing if I can hit a Dondoza with Clear Smog or not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's Terra Steel. I think Open Team Sheet needs to stay even beyond if we lose Terrestrialization. I hope we don't.
I think Baguli was the first person to run Steel Dondozo.
I did
At
play.
locals.
I
Yeah.
played Baguli in finals that day, and he was running the Steel Dondoza. Yeah, I
Didn't
remember.
we all have Haze Macro though?
A lot
I
of
was,
people
run-
did.
I was
I
running it.
did.
So that very first tournament, I brought Dondozo, and my game plan was if I see Haze or Clear Smog, I just don't bring it.
So
Yep.
I got so much crap for bringing Dondozo in Reg F, and
Well,
here I
that's
am
Reg F.
learning that you were like Joel and Dan both ran it in Reg A, and
That's when it was valid at one point.
No, fuck off. If you ran Dondozo and Reggae, you hate fun and you can go die.
Ethan ran Rabska though.
I'm running it in Reg
Was-
G. I
was
think.
by far the coolest thing.
Yeah, that's
Terrible,
allowed.
Pink
It's
Fairy Rabska.
It's been power crept enough that it's fair. I would just also, I do want to make this point about open team sheets is it makes the game more accessible to newcomers because
I agree, yeah.
the reason for that is going back to tournaments when we had closed team sheets, well-connected players had an advantage.
Yes.
Sliff, if I come up against you, and you're running, let's say you're running Chandelure with Scarf, not Imprison, Scarf, Infiltrator, and I've got a bunch of my Pokemon friends because I'm well connected. I've been playing the game for a while. Perhaps let's say hypothetically in a world you don't bubble and you actually make it into top cut. My mate comes to me and is like, "Hey, you played against a Sliff guy. What's he running?" I was like, "Oh, watch out for a Chandelure. It's Scarf Infiltrator." And so he knows to play around that. However, you're, let's say new to the scene, you don't know that many people. You've just rocked up with a team because you've liked playing online. You don't have anyone to inform you that this guy's actually running, Coil Hypnosis on his Milotic rather than some other set. I don't know why I use that example. That was the most standard set. But,
This reminds me of 2022 regionals when our group was running around scouting Masto's team
yeah.
because we didn't know where the fucking Focus Sash was, and he made top 8, and we were like, it's got to be either the Instinct or the Rillaboom. But with all the damage calcs we had put out, we couldn't figure out if there was an Assault Vest on either. So
Yeah.
we're like, one has to be Sash, but we can't make a direct guess because on ladder both are getting used.
Yeah.
So
And-
Masto got to hide that information, but
and-
I revealed that he had the Charty Berry Tornadus game
Yeah.
1, and because of that, nobody clicked a rock move into it.
Yeah.
Because we had the information, and
Yeah.
he still beat 5 Westerners.
But I think that really kind of demonstrates the whole way that a well-connected player has an unfair advantage in closed team sheets
Yes.
against players who are not so well-connected,
I
which
think
would
it's
typically be
something-
a newer player. And so I feel like removing that barrier and putting everyone on a level playing field is a great way to encourage newer players to join where they might previously have been at a disadvantage.
agree.
I think it's something that Pokemon and Organized identified as an issue as well, that
Yeah.
people were going to big events, getting into groups, and then revealing the teams to their little group,
Yeah.
giving that group an advantage and giving everyone else a disadvantage.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's solved multiple problems in one hit. But yeah, I think it's time to wrap up there, gentlemen. Any last things we want to shout out before we go?
Yes, and we cannot finish the episode without me mentioning my campaign to get Wolf Glick to come to Perth Regionals 2025. I've started a Twitter campaign, and if you listen to this podcast, please follow.
Wolf, we know you're listening.
Yeah, we know you're listening, Wolfie. You're a massive fan of the show.
Hashtag Wolfie goes down under.
Hashtag Wolfie goes down under. And we literally,
I've only ever heard that. That's the first time I've ever heard that said out loud.
The O2 Drop Twitter is resharing my posts or liking them. So yeah, come find us on Twitter and find me as well at the Mazda and support my campaign. I'm sharing memes that Dan Baguli has made for me. Thank you very much, Dan. And I'm bugging him literally every single day and atting him, like, hey, like, can't wait to see you in Perth next year. Wouldn't it be great? Like, and then I'm photoshopping him in random places in Perth, being like, this is going to be like Wolfie like next year at Perth Regionals, because it was so good for our local meta game to like get a high profile player like Wolfie here. The publicity it would get, and like just being able to see him like wreck us.
It would be a privilege, an absolute
it would be free,
privilege.
Yeah. It'd be free CP, and like, mate, Wolfie, when you listen, the prize money for our regionals, like the $6,000 whatever it is, that would pay more than enough to like your flights here and back, and and you'd be able to buy us all drinks as well after the tournament.
Bring the Beast Coast with you.
Mate, buy him drinks. What are you talking? If Wolf Glick comes, we're gonna do it.
I'll buy him a beer.
Year. We're gonna have a massive after party. We're gonna entertain, and I'm gonna buy Wolfie rounds. He's not coming all the way here to buy me a fucking beer.
Yeah, Wolfie,
I think what Chris is trying to say though is to all of our listeners, please get amongst the hashtag Wolf goes down under.
Wolfie goes
down under because at the moment Chris just looks like a crazy stalker.
I'm not. I just want to point out, Wolfie, I'm not a stalker. I legitimately want you to come to our regionals, show us the world champ diff, and get your free CP, but also like just do it for our community and do it for the Australian Pokemon community, because it will be epic if we can get you here.
Sounds like something a stalker would say.
Do it for the memes, honestly.
Yeah, commit.
Like,
there were some great memes.
Do it undercover so that nobody knows, and just rock up on the Saturday. We're just like, what
wearing
the hell?
Groucho glasses. Yeah,
do it for the Quokka selfie.
Wolf, come to Australia. We'll teach you how to do a shoey.
Yeah, I'll do a shoey with him.
Yeah, I'll do a shoey with Wolf if he comes.
I would do a shoey out of Wolf's shoe.
Yes.
No. That's just
for the content. For the content.
Anyway, I think we've run over time. We should probably.
We have. So everybody.
Play Goon of Fortune with him.
Goon of Fortune. He'd love it. I think he'd love it.
Does he even drink?
We'll find out.
Thank you everyone for joining me this evening. That wraps up the O2 drop now. Thank you for the people at home for listening to us. We appreciate you and would love for you to come and listen to us again. Follow us on Twitter at the02drop_VGC. Don't forget to follow us and give us a review on your favorite listening app. If you're in Perth, give us a shout out, and definitely give us a shout out on Twitter. Support the Wolfie Goes Down Under campaign. We can't wait to see your guys' shares on that.
To my sister Claire, get good.
Get good, Twonk Chris. Until next time. Welcome, friends. Thank you for joining us. My name is Joel, and this is the O2 Drop.
Shout out to Chris's sister.
Fucking hell. At least I can cut that shit out.
Sorry.
This is WAVGC pod. Oh.
Just start again.
You'll just start again.